with mindfulness and mindful breathing and the ability to go into your own mind, to visualize, to see your future in the most beautiful light, how could you ever get bored? Right.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful practice that people can just use. And if it works for the Navy SEALs, it'll probably work for you, because we start with box breathing, and that usually convinces people. They're like, okay, okay, fine. If it works for the Navy SEALs, then I can, teach it to my dad. And I do have a lot of people taking it to their kids or their parents or their loved ones who might not have been open to something like that, and to share that and to teach that and to be able to integrate it into your daily life. That's the end goal. That's the final integration process where
Yeah.
it becomes our second nature and it becomes who we are. That being
Mhm.
said, I do not want to act like, life is not going to throw stuff at you.
Welcome back, friends. This is PCOS Unfiltered, the show where we cut through the noise, ditch the quick fixes, and talk about what it really takes to heal from the inside out. I'm your host, Lindsie, nurse, health coach, and a fierce believer that your diagnosis is just one chapter, not the whole story. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible connection between the mind and body with someone who truly bridges science and soul, Paige Turner Gordon. She is a certified hypnotherapist, yoga instructor, and author of the book Pain Reset Without Pills. She's also the founder of a brand new healing studio coming spring 2026 that blends neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and body based practices to help people rewire pain and reclaim their peace. Throughout these episodes with Paige, we'll talk about how your nervous system shapes your healing, what the latest neuroscience is showing about pain perception, and how ancient practices like yoga, breathwork, and hypnosis actually change the brain. So, whether you're struggling with chronic pain, stress hormonal imbalances, or just that feeling of being stuck in your body, this conversation is going to show you that your body isn't broken, it's communicating, and there's a way to listen. As always, the content shared on PCOS Unfiltered, Nourish, Heal, Thrive is for informational and educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are not intended to serve as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or treatment plan. The information shared is based on personal experience and expert interviews and is not a substitute for professional medical guidance. Now, let's dive in. I mean, you kind of answered it, but for anybody that might be intimidated by something like this or a little skeptical, like how would you kind of start them off or invite them in, to doing something like this?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, of course, I would start with the science. You can't, there's so many more articles coming out, and I do have, I have a nerd report, I call it, in my resource hub that I just like to combine and compile various studies. So I have a list of how mindfulness and meditation type practices affect pain and pain regulation in certain, so you can dive into the science on that. We have some for breath work, for hypnosis and subconscious work. So um, just to look at the science, we have the technology now to physically look at the meditating and the breathing and the under hypnosis brain, whereas before we really didn't have that.
Mhm.
So I would say start at the evidence, and then whatever it is that you're facing, if if the opportunity to avoid an unnecessary surgery or the opportunity to avoid unnecessary side effects from more and more pills, I would try it. I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at it. If it's me, I'm going to do the juicing, I'm going to do the cleanses, I'm going to, like, and so these are those are all great things. Anything you can do to get healthier is beautiful, amazing practice. And you're doing the Lord's work with your nutrition, because people need that in this country so badly. Right. And these are all practices that are designed to be something that you can do within, that you can do on your own, without going and asking anyone, no external tools needed. You can just have this as your internal go-to practice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then when you use the external tools, like for example, I always say, I went to a massage the other day. If I'm tense and I'm holding, and every time he gets to an area that might be tense and he might otherwise be able to unwind, now I'm clenching it and I'm not breathing, and I'm stressing out about tomorrow, and I'm wondering what I'm going to do today. And then so mind's everywhere, body's all over the place, breath's all over the place. You're not absorbing that healing practice of the external tools that you're able to access to. Even getting out in nature. People these days say they're bored when they go out in nature. Well, with mindfulness and mindful breathing and the ability to go into your own mind, to visualize, to see your future in the most beautiful light, how could you ever get bored? Right.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful practice that people can just use. And if it works for the Navy SEALs, it'll probably work for you, because we start with box breathing, and that usually convinces people. They're like, okay, okay, fine. If it works for the Navy SEAls, then I can, teach it to my dad. And I do have a lot of people taking it to their kids or their parents or their loved ones who might not have been open to something like that, and to share that and to teach that and to be able to integrate it into your daily life. That's the end goal. That's the final integration process, where
Yeah.
it becomes our second nature and it becomes who we are. That being
Mhm.
said, I do not want to act like, life is not going to throw stuff at you. It's always going to be a practice too. So that's why it's not just the 6 week program and then you're done. This is what you learn, and you learn to build and grow what's needed. Once you get to that point, then those old patterns will rear their head again. Even you've been going fine for a little while, you stub your toe and it's just like over, you know?
Yeah.
And that still happens. That still happens, but it does happen less and less. And I see with my clients, when I go back and check on them, when they've gone through the 6 week or they've gone through the 12 week, and I go back and check on them, and I'm expecting them to say there's been a flare up or this or that life has happened and kind of got in the way. And they're like, nope, I'm fine, doing good,
Yeah.
sailing, smooth cruising. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here, when life gets lifey, because it will, because but I go back to it, and I promise that I probably could not get out of bed every day, because I do deal with pain myself without going to these practices and without without teaching it, because that
Yeah.
reminds me every single day
Yeah.
how
That's where you and I
powerful.
like align in that too, because so my big program is my 90-day program, but I want people to then use everything that they learned and do it on their own and make it sustainable and keep the weight off, or feel better, have all that energy that they had during the 90 days. It's not a challenge. It's not, it's not a temporary fix. Like, I want people to actually feel better and keep feeling better. I don't want them to just do something
Right.
and feel good in
Right.
that. So
Yes, because and that's what I see a lot with practitioners too. I get massage therapists, yoga teachers, and other practitioners, health practitioners especially, but saying they're doing all the things, they're showing up, and they are doing all the holistic healing, and they know what to do, but but there's still an element. Like for example, Teresa, who is a massage therapist, and she had kids running around at home that were a little stressful. There were some stuff at work that was just adding up more and more, and being that healer for others was just kind of taking her healing power from herself a little bit, and it was starting to manifest as physical tightness that actually became like stomach cramps and like pain in her ribs. And even just after, I mean, she's already super intuitive, super in tune healer. So just after 1 week, she has not had that, flare up happen again, because she's aware of the root causes before that, and has been able to address that deeper layer, so that when those stressors, like, I think somebody had a new baby and everything, so there's a lot going on, but she's got that go to stop the fight flight, um, when it's not necessary, to recognize it and to redirect into the breath, into taking the time and giving yourself permission to actually do the work to heal yourself, and not feel guilty about it, not feel like you're disappointing anyone by not always constantly showing up for them, but to show up for yourself first. It's a big learning curve, which we're
Yeah.
still learning, especially as healers. So
Healers, and I think women in general, but then, whether you're a mom or not, but I think women in general are just have that natural,
big
they want
time
to take care of
overgive.
themselves. Yeah. And there does come a point. I learned it the hard way myself. There comes a point where you have to say no and realize that you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of everybody else. Super important. Yeah.
Yeah, fill
Mm.
fill up your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that is, I did not tell you. I just want to make sure, because I know that, it's a local thing. So I definitely can't wait to connect with people online. But the name of the studio that we finally landed on is Renewal Studios Roanoke. It is The building is getting renewed. Its purpose as an old church, as an old sanctuary, a place of healing and gathering. My story of renewing my practice in a physical location, and how you'll feel when you leave.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Renewed. And
That's
so hopefully also in the community, renewing the community around it, so where it spreads out. And yeah, I mean, exactly. I definitely need to do a separate interview with you about the exact structures, because I'm not, a headstrong business person. I'm really open to having it be a place that's growing and expanding and different, rather than just like my studio. So
yeah.
when you walk in, you don't feel like you're walking into class at a studio. You feel like you're walking into a sanctuary where you can be truly, held and safe, and explore the
Yeah.
healing potential, because that is again, it's us keeping, it's society and ourselves keeping ourselves from our own innate healing
Mhm.
potential, which we have, we've studied the human brain actually rebuilding. We've got the imaging, so check that out, everyone, because it's brand, some of this stuff is brand new, what we're able to do. So I'm sure, we can start to chart and measure our own science through the subjective experience, and see how that lines up.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I love it so much. Yeah, I want to definitely, we got to hit them with the 1-2 punch of the nutrition, the fasting, the cleansing, and the, mind,
Yeah.
body, and spirit. And there's no wrong way to heal, unless that path towards healing is more harmful
Yeah.
than
Do you
good.
any specific examples around women with hormonal healing? Whether it be PCOS or maybe menopause or, perimenopause, anything like that?
I believe that, I believe that my client, Sam, who also has given permission, she's got her photo on my page, because she's just like, yes, tell everybody, because I believe that, and I'm not a hormone specialist,
Yeah.
so I don't, but I love people who are too. I'm like, definitely go see one of those as well, because when it's your hormones, you definitely need a hormone specialist. My goodness. But and so she was already going to all the doctors and everything. I do her age and what she was going through. I believe that there was like insane hormonal influxes and fluctuations that were really affecting her. Um, because we really did get down to the root of it, and she was able to resolve her she was experiencing a hernia and an ulcer, and it was really just anxiety that was building up, that was leading to tension, that was leading to dyspepsia, that was leading to a physical, diagnosis of a condition of GERD, and all these other conditions that they attempted to say. And I feel like probably hormones would have been a good a good place to support her, but she was able to do that on her own by, again, like getting the confidence to go advocate for herself. She has not missed a day of work. She goes out on dates, and it's with a new guy because she kicked the old one to the curb. And
Aw.
I'm just saying, because these are those life things, and it's fun and it's funny and it's cute because, well, I mean, she's young, so she's able to do that. It's not that life altering, right? Because she is young, but it's beautiful because you see, I'm coming in because I've gotten to a point where I don't feel comfortable going out to eat, where I'm not even sure if I'm going to lose my job because I'm not able to make it through a day without vomiting, without fear of vomiting, even if I'm not, getting vertigo, not being able to even ride the bus, and getting more and more fearful that that's going to, then you see these scenarios of how it's going to ruin your life and stop you from living your life. So that anxiety just is a feedback loop that feeds itself. And yeah, so she was able to really grow into her own. Stomach issues are a real physical thing that can cause, you to need to be on medications, but she's able to be on a lot fewer, and is feeling like she is seeing herself ready to have a family.
Aw, that's awesome. Yeah,
I
I mean,
know.
it's all tied together. So, she suspected some hormonal imbalances, but, maybe never got anything checked. But she obviously had a lot of stuff going on. More than likely, yeah, once she got that fixed, it probably did help balance her hormones and just she felt better. And it just, yeah, like you said, it can be a vicious cycle if you let it, keep going. So she kind of broke that cycle and it probably just helped everything else going on in her body.
Yeah, yeah, I would absolutely love to see that looked at side by side and
Yeah.
see, those are that's another, level of science that we're getting better at. You can actually chart that now. So to to study that some more is always the push, and understand, um wow, the ancient yogis and the various wisdom schools had something going for them, and these are, you know things that we've seen in practice, that we've witnessed working over and over. But it's really, I mean, it really is in the last 5 years that we can get all this uh, empirical data, and really analyze the brain and what's possible. And we know now that you don't just deteriorate as you get older. You can really rewire. You can really reset, and it's not just a catchphrase. I did write a Medium article about this too, where I nerded out on some articles and some recent studies, and looked at how quickly you can actually start to change the physical structure of the brain. And it's different for different people. Obviously, it varies, but it lands somewhere right around 66 days, which is just the perfect time to go through a 6-week program. I don't know.
Nice.
I was like, wow, okay. So, we're onto something because it was. I put this together off of what had worked for my clients for 14 years at that time. And the book actually, it started out by just putting together assignments and resources for clients. And then when you see, across completely different demographics, different areas of the world, and different presenting issues, the same type of uh, process and combination of mind body practices just work, just help. You can't help but to notice that, and then once it's together, yeah, let's see where we can go with it.
Yeah. Wow, what a powerful conversation. I love how Paige blends modern neuroscience with the wisdom of ancient healing, reminding us that healing isn't about fixing the body, but reconnecting with it. If you love this episode, make sure to grab a copy of her book, Pain Reset Without Pills, and check out her online offerings at hypnoyogaonline.com. You'll find everything from mind-body workshops to one-on-one sessions designed to help you reset your nervous system and rediscover what safe feels like in your own skin. And if today's episode sparked something in you, a moment of awareness, a breath of relief, or even curiosity, that's where healing begins. Until next time, remember, your body is not the enemy, it's the guide. I'm Lindsie, and this is PCOS Unfiltered. Nourish, Heal, Thrive.